Happy Friday. Welcome to the 3 Things I Learned in Saas Sports Tech and Live Events. Number 1, from the Vivid Seats Pipe Investor Deck, which you can find in the comments below. There is a roaring 20's that everybody is out selling, and that roaring 20's is predicated upon a huge increase in the savings rate during COVID. You can see that they anticipated a $4.6 trillion saving rate versus $2.7 trillion, which was the trend line. In the same deck, and in many other investors' decks, it shows that there's a massive increase in live events over the next year and a half. Now, those two things can't exist in the same world. If there's going to be a massive increase in live events, then the savings rate's going to have to drop to consume all those live events. What does that mean? That means a huge run for market share, for consumer dollars, and for short-term big numbers in revenue. That's something we should all be planning for, and we will all see. There will be major incentives for the consumer. There will also be a lot of marketing and a lot of spend around trying to win the swim-off after the pandemic. That's number 1. Number 2, with the rush back to live events, there is a rush to hiring for live events. Please treat people the way you'd like to be treated. Now, not only because that's the golden rule, and remembering what it's like to be on the other side of the table when you're not being called back, when you're being strung along, or you're not given a reason for why you didn't get the job, that's bad enough. But if you're looking at it in your own self-interest, you have no idea where people are going to end up later in their careers. Please treat them well. It will pay off in the future. I promise you. There have been so many people along the way where maybe it wasn't a fit for whatever reason. Either they didn't find interest in the end when we offered, or we couldn't find a fit for them. But we treated each other well, and it's paid off. That's number 2. Number 3, a new favorite, a quote I heard a couple of weeks ago. It's easier to fool somebody than it is to convince them that they've been fooled. This is applicable to everything we do in our business. It's applicable to your staff if they've been fooled with what management may or may not think. It's applicable when raising money, especially when talking to investors that might have been fooled by other opportunities or by reference calls. And it's applicable if you're a salesperson who's out there selling against somebody who might have fooled a customer. Trying to approach this immediately and saying you've been fooled, blah, 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 doesn't work. We've all learned that over the last 14 years. Just make sure you're putting in the work, you're understanding that it's going to take that much effort. It's the old Churchill quote that a lie gets halfway around the world before truth gets to put on their pants. And know that you have to invest in trying to help people understand what the right way is and that they might have been fooled. That's it for the 3 things. We'll see you next week.